welcome to Oh Brother, a podcast of three brothers trying to figure it all out, with your hosts Brandon, Collin, and Aaron. On this week's show, Meeting Horizon. Hello. Hello. What's new?
Whoa. Not a lot. Closing these other windows here I don't need. Get out. Damn.
Yeah, same. Frantically.
No, that one. There it is. All right. Yeah. Not a lot. Just got back from eating with the mother-in-law.
Ah, yes.
I snuck back. They were watching a movie, so I ran away.
Sorry.
Oh, it's fine.
What was the evening's treat?
Shayna took up the movie Sing to watch up there. So it's definitely better than Hallmark Christmas movies.
Is
so there
it?
We go. Yes. There's a plot and character arcs.
Are there?
Yes. Yes. There we go. Actually, the best. Have you seen this movie?
No, I haven't.
You need to watch this movie. Sing. It's like the animated movie.
Oh, yeah.
About the singing contest.
Yes.
And all these like animals singing stuff. The best part of this movie is actually just all the incidental sound clips that happen that if you're not paying attention, you totally just miss. But there's like a song happening in this movie like every 5 seconds. They don't play all of it. Like you'll just like, and it's part of the like the background, you know, there'll be a car passing and you'll hear this song and you're like, wait, I know that song. Or like there's this part where they're walking into the audition room and this porcupine guitar player girl that's in the audition is definitely playing the opening solo of Eruption from Van Halen. But if you're not paying attention, you just miss it. There's all these little like small little details in there. It's just that's my favorite part about the movie. And when the pig mom lady dances to Gypsy Kings in the grocery store, that part's awesome. Who doesn't love Gypsy Kings? I mean, come on, there we go. That's why.
I like random movies like that. Like every once in a while, there's a movie that has like a bunch of like A-list actors. And Sing was one of those movies where I was just looking at the IMDb and has a lot of just, top tier actors in it. And I think those movies every once in a while are just fun.
Yeah, it's fun. Also, the first time you watch it's really distracting because you're like, wait, who's that? At least I do that with animated movies. Yeah. I'm guilty if I sit there a lot and go, wait a minute.
Whose voice is that?
Yeah, the main character, one of the main characters in this movie, there's like an opening monologue, and I was sitting there watching the movie, and I went, wait a minute, that's Matthew McConaughey. Like, yes, It is.
Indeedy.
So, it was fun, but I sneaked away. It was almost over anyway, so it's all good. That's it. That's all I've been up to. What about you guys? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Aaron.
Oh, what's the question?
Oh, I thought you were getting ready to say something.
No, sorry. I thought we were going around the thing talking. And
yes,
yes, we are.
To Brandon's right, Aaron.
This is
hello.
The way I'm sitting, I think he's to my left, actually. Fine.
I have a whole, this is an entirely whole other question about how we perceive each other in a circle while we're recording. This is a thing. This is a thing.
There we go. We'll get back to that in a minute.
Okay, so
I'm facing north currently, so I think Aaron is off to my left. That's what.
I'm facing west. So
there you go. Aaron's just facing both of us. Look at that. Yeah. No, he's facing away. He's got his back to us. Look at that.
Oh.
Rude.
I'm facing east.
Wow. There we go.
Wow.
Anyway, Aaron.
Hello. So Aaron has been working this week. I've had a case almost every single day. And with schools starting to kind of reopen up, there's usually a spike in DHS calls. So maybe in the next 2 weeks, I will be kind of all over the place. But I have been driving back and forth from Bartlesville to Tulsa almost every single day for cases and families. So fun wise, what do we do for fun? We've been looking at apartments, so apartment shopping. Shelby is shaking her head and smashing the pillow onto her face because she is having so much fun doing shopping for apartments.
Good.
But we've been exploring downtown Tulsa just for funs. Like I had ramen noodles for like legit ramen noodles for the first time today. Pretty proud. Could not use chopsticks to save my life. My brain was just like no. So I was like stabbing my shrimp, and just making.
Did they not give you the spoon thing too? You can kind of scoop
did,
with it,
but I only used that just for the broth. And so
the trick is to hold the spoon in your left hand at all times, and then just kind of help to get things on the chopsticks with the spoon.
I was kind of mimicking what other patrons around me were doing. I was like, yes, ramen. I too have had ramen. This human food of which I had, and I'd stop and like stare at a table. Like, how do they do that?
I mean, to be fair, the first time with wet noodles and chopsticks, slightly difficult. So we'll give you a pass this time.
Yeah,
it's fine.
So I struggled. What else did we? I don't think what else we've done. I mean, other than that, like,
sushi the other day.
It's sushi, but like, yeah, that's about it.
We did Top of the Price Tower.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Shelby.
Yeah, she's in the background. I'm sitting here playing with my phone. I was like, what did we do? Yeah, we toured. Oh, that was kind of last week when we talked. But we went and had a date downtown Bartlesville and gallivanted around. And then other than that, it's just been work on my end. Like it's been. I was doing really good on cases. I was down to 2, and I was like, "Oh yes, these are easy." And then it's like, "Hey, here's a case. Oh, here's a case. Oh, here's a case." And so I'm just waiting probably to get one tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. But that's all I has been doing up here, at least.
It's more than me. I'm just waiting till I have to go back to work Tuesday. Yes. For insurgency meeting things. So see how that goes. We don't know.
when meetings on the horizon?
Yes, lots of them. For like 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. So when do kiddos report?
The 20-something? I don't remember exactly. The only day I have currently is Tuesday that I go back. That's all I have so far. Just got to work up to this.
Nice.
So we'll see how that goes. It'll be interesting. So Susan's been at work like every night till who knows when, because they have because they're doing all the returning stuff, right? Oh. So she's been since she's the social media person. Oh boy, it's been exciting. They had to get they had a board meeting again this last Monday, like an emergency session. It was planned, so it wasn't like, not like, oh my gosh, I have to do it tomorrow. Right, it was we're going to do it. It was an extra board meeting, I guess, to finalize their come back to school plan. So she had been typing all that up. Her and the superintendent had been working on all that, getting it already typed into this format stuff, and then they had to finalize everything. So she finalized, added in stuff they wanted, and this week has been disseminating that to the 100% happy and receptive public.
good.
wait,
That's
yes.
good. That
Oh
you
wait,
have
no, we don't have. We don't
so
have
many.
that.
No,
We don't have that.
No, it's so sad. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see next week. I imagine the schedule for what our meetings are about to have shifted slightly from the general normal. I bet that PPE video we have to watch every single year might be a little different this time, I think.
It is 14 hours long.
14 hours. It's already really long.
I bet.
So, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. It'll be
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know. They are all I really know. I didn't read the entirety of the 700-page PDF document that I got sent in an email.
Shocking.
Yet.
Shocking.
It's not quite that long, but they are doing like if you want to do like distance learning will be optional. You just have to sign up for it and say, yes, I want that. So they've been doing that sign up this week. I have absolutely no idea how many or
Oh, you mean for the
anything
students?
like that. Yeah, for the students. Yes.
Okay. So what? So if like in your class, if you had one student sign up for distance learning, you would have to be ready to provide materials and stuff for them.
I guess.
Yeah.
No idea. They
Interesting.
haven't really told me
Yeah, you're fine. You'll be the last to know. It'll be
what
okay.
that. I mean, yes, that's true. I imagine one of the meetings next week will be about that. But so that's an option for people. But again, I have absolutely no idea like what percentage of students are doing that or what exactly I'm required to do for the ones that do that. I don't really
Right.
know. I don't know if it's like I have no idea.
Huh.
So that'll be interesting.
Exciting
Yeah,
times.
we'll see. I don't
Maybe.
know.
Not really. Yeah.
Again, my science class is lots and lots of like discussion based things. So yeah. I don't really know how to translate that. I guess I could just record it. I don't know. Record the audio somehow and then just post it. Say, oh, here you go. Ta-da. But
Eek.
I don't know. That's the way.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
real
it's-
sure. Propose it as like a discussion board.
Mic.
That's true, but it's at home and not at school. And
You can plug it in.
yeah, but it's not exactly like I can't record like live in the classroom. It's a bit big and unwieldy for that. So I'm not real sure exactly what my plan is. We'll have to wait and see what they tell me. But I guess I should wait and see how many of my kids are going to do that. 'cause I
Decide to
don't
do
know.
that. Yeah.
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 That'll depend as well. So we'll see. But yeah, it's about to get real weird. So there's
Yeah.
We'll see.
He laughs haltingly and with a little like terror in his
Yeah.
voice.
yeah. So yeah, we'll see. Report back next week about
Excited
whatever
to hear.
weirdness happens there.
Oh yeah. Huh. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, so what about you?
Oh yeah. The city has officially stated a mask order effective
have they?
tomorrow at midnight. So anywhere you are in public, you have to wear one. And boy howdy, you talk about happy people. A lot of happy people in town today.
I bet.
So thrilled.
So excited.
They are. They can't wait to
I know.
not do that. So
They
that's
just love
coming.
being. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand. Like, I don't know. You can't tell me what to do. People literally tell you what to do every day of your life, and you do it. So, like, you wear pants outside. You wear your shoes in the gas station, right? You stop at red lights.
You wear a seatbelt.
Yeah. I mean, which is kind of the same thing, right? So I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, so we've been trying to stay on top of that, and we don't know what that's going to do to Megan, to Lillian, to the kids' schools. We don't know what that's going to really do. I mean, it's a small school; like there's 6 kids in there, but I don't know what she's beholden to in running the classroom, or not, right? So how she's categorized really.
That's
the state, because I mean, she is technically a school. She's not a daycare. So, but she's not a full school. Like, anyway, it's weird. I don't know.
Yeah,
whatever. So we're still waiting to hear more on that. But yeah, we were slammed with pets this past week. Yet again. I mean, it was insane. This past weekend, I was doing drop-ins on a cat, and we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dogs overnight for the past week.
Yuck.
Last night was the first night we had no dogs in our house, and then we got 2 more at 6 a.m. this morning. And they're with us until tomorrow because the owners.
What the heck?
The owners are going down to Silver Dollar City because there's some band playing that they want to go see. So they're going to a large amphitheater in Silver Dollar City to go see some band.
Silver Dollar City is requiring masks to be in the park. So
interesting. Okay, I didn't know that.
There you go. They are. Yes.
Okay. Well, that's
when they opened up. That's the first thing they did. Boom.
Okay. Nice.
So
nice. So, yeah, it's been busy. Looking ahead, we're not too bad. It's going to really start tapering off here soon. So, but that happened last year too. Around the start of school, September was our slowest month.
September is just the worst month. Really. Out of all the months, it's the worst one. So that makes sense. Like, it's terrible. Know of any listeners whose birthday is in September? This is not a shot at you. I still love you. But the month of September is awful. Part of the reason it's so awful is because it's a liar, right? Because September is always like, ooh, it's almost fall. And then one day it'll be like, oh, it's like 60 degrees and it's so nice. And 2 days later it's 98. Ha ha ha. You thought summer was over. Liar. Here it is again. It's terrible.
Yeah. That's true.
It's the worst.
That's a good point.
She's like, the worst is behind us. August is gone. And September just goes,
Not. Yeah. So...
Yeah. There's no holidays. There's nothing to look forward to in September.
It's just kind of drudges on.
Yeah. It's just like, blah.
Here
it is.
Yeah. So, gosh, yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Like this past. I'm just looking at my calendar right now, and seriously, since June 24th. We've had multiple dogs in our house overnight every night since then, until last night. So it's kind of this weird break, and then we're kind of moderately busy. So we'll see. It's interesting, but
yeah, this is good to not have 5 dogs. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, we had.
Were they enormous like always? I was like, well, here's this giant lab and a boxer and a Great Dane. I'm like,
well, so we didn't have any Great Danes staying over, but we do sit 2 Great Danes for daycares Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So on last Friday, we had a blind dachshund, we had a labradoodle. We had him. We had a tiny Yorkie thing. We had 2 Great Danes. We had and then we had a lab and this is basically another lab mix all in the house. So
Yeah,
It was fun.
So,
It was fun.
Collin, question:
where did you put Noah? That's the real question. Where did you?
Has anyone ever asked or inquired about like pet sitting, like anything other than like a dog or a cat? Like, has anyone asked you like to pet sit like a snake or like a ferret or something? Do you
That's
get
actually a really good
requests
question.
like that?
That is. I will say that the exotic requests for us are basically non-existent. When I was pet sitting a little bit during my undergrad, I took care of a professor's hingeback tortoise collection and ball python collection for a week.
Oh, okay.
His basement was like a corral for hingeback tortoises that you could kind of write on. It was
that's extremely. I take it he was like a herpetology professor or some sort of biology professor.
He is. Yep. He's still there.
He wasn't like an economics professor. He's like, no, this is just for fun.
Yeah. No. He's a herpetologist.
And so cute.
Yeah, and he had lots of them. Then multiple ball pythons, and that was fun. Just because it was so different, and like the feeding regime was intense and insane. Because
I bet
like,
it's very specialized.
Very specialized. Since then, like I've always wanted to take care of a bird. We've never taken care of a bird. I've always wanted to take care of more snakes. I've never taken care of a snake. I've always wanted, like, we took care of a bearded dragon one time when we were in Texas, and it was more like, please make sure he's still alive while
just
we're
stop
gone.
in and check on him. Yeah.
It was pretty much like,
well, I mean, that's true. Do you think the reason is because a lot of those animals, like a snake, for example, if you're going to go away for a day or so, like it's in the cage, you don't even have to feed it like every couple weeks or something. So is it just that they're just so low maintenance, or?
I'm sure that has to do part of it. I think also just the prevalence, like just statistically.
I mean, that's true too.
Like how likely you are to be just slammed with people that need snake care.
Fair.
I think the most unique one that we've taken care of in
guinea pigs, though.
Yeah, we've never taken care of a guinea pig, but a lot of those have like automatic feeders that you can do.
Yeah.
You clean them out once a week, kind of thing. We took care of a 150-gallon saltwater tank before.
Whoa.
But we were also taking care of the cats, so it was a little like, also.
Yeah, while you're here.
Please make sure nothing dies.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, besides that, it's really just been like a lot of puppies and a lot of old dogs is what we do. It's like what our bread and butter tends to be.
There we go.
Because they're the ones that need the most care, right?
Well, that's true.
And because people with puppies don't feel like they can ever leave because they have a puppy. People with an old dog, most of the time with medications, can't leave them or do anything with them. So you end up getting called to go do that.
That would be Chuck or Mino. That's where we're at right now. That's the weird thing we've been thinking about is like, okay, we got to go back to work now. I've been home since March, right? With Chuck every day.
Yeah.
So like, I got to leave him by himself now. Like, but poor little guy doesn't, he doesn't get around very good, and he's got some medicine he's on right now. So we're like, well, what are we going to do with this?
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's a thing that everyone's thinking about is big separation anxiety issues, and just the level of care that pups had the past 6 months. Like that's, I think I've talked about it here. There are dogs that we've been caring for over a year, and they've just started to come back, and they are like glued to our hips now.
Yeah.
And it's like you have not been away from a human in many, many months. And I can tell. And so,
I mean, granted, Chuck mostly sleeps on the couch and then wakes up and goes, well, it's time for dogs to go outside now. Excuse me. Yes. And then, that's, but like,
well, yeah. But I mean, there's still those things of like trying to get back into that routine and not wanting to stress them out too much and, put them in a stressful situation. or it's something new. So starting to do those things like jingling your keys and just going into the garage like you normally would, and just like open up the garage and close it, but sit there in the car for a while, and so that he knows that kind of like start doing some of those cues to communicate, like this is okay, remember this, right? Like that's okay. Like those are all things that you can do. It's just it's new, it's hard.
So we'll see how he goes. But poor old boy doesn't really want to. So be rough for him, but he'd be fine probably. Yeah. So
I mean, do you have a neighbor or something, someone who could come by and
maybe
check on him?
We thought about that. Come and check him out.
Yeah,
trying to get Susan's mom to do it, but she's all, "Oh, he's so much work." But he literally sleeps all the time. Like what? Talking about it.
He's literally the most high maintenance dog I think I'm aware of.
Yeah, right. Oh, he's such a diva. Napping on the couch again.
Napping and more napping.
Yes. Well, the biggest problem that she has with him is that like those 10 minutes after we leave him at her house, where he's like pacing around.
Yeah,
she's just like, he just won't stop pacing. Like he will in like 5 minutes. He'll be fine. Just hold on.
A, because he realizes it's okay, and B, he mostly just gets tired. Like he,
those two things. He'll just be like, "Oh, there is water. Okay, I'm good now. Let's go." Dead. Like he's just looking for the water bowl. That's all he wants, and then he's good. Lay back down. Blap.
Yep.
Nap time.
I had a lady was dropping off a dog. Was coming up our stairs, and she was kind of, I don't know, she was kind of teetering. She didn't she had the best balance coming up the stairs, and she has a 1.5-year-old lab. And
boy,
it's not. Talk about people with mismatched with their pet. Anyway, she's coming up, and their lab. The lady's a little bit older, but anyway, the lab bolts, and this lady just goes flat like a pancake up our steps. The dog is like pulling her not lifeless body but limp body up the steps a little bit, like tugging at it because the dog is trying to get in the door.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, that was real fun. It was real fun. Fortunately, she didn't like bruise herself. She kind of caught herself with her other arm real fast and kind of held herself there. But I was just like, oh my gosh! So that was the meet and greet, and before she came back over. She's going to come back in a couple days. I was like, when you get here, call or let us know, or I'll be on the lookout so I can come out and I can help get the dog out of the car and get the dog inside for you, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah,
because that was like terrifying, right? Like it's not what I wanted to see.
No,
there's this lady walking up, and all of a sudden this dog freaks out and just blap right down. I was like, oh no.
Boy.
Yeah, fun times.
Yeah. Ugh. Calm it down there, Turbo. Got to calm down.
Is that something else that you offer, like kind of with that lady with mismatched dog personalities? Like, is there some sort of animal therapy or animal counseling you guys can do? It's like, well, your dog's been having a lot of anxiety, and so you can do, X, Y, and Z. Is that something else that you also offer for your services, or?
It's not something we charge extra for. I mean, those are definitely conversations we have of, people bring over their puppy that's just completely insane, and we'll go, hey, how are you guys working with the dog at home?
Have you thought about this? Yeah.
Well, usually you have to gauge to see, because people get very defensive about their dog's behavior.
It's like their kids, right? Like, you don't tell me how to raise my kids. Like,
right.
Dude, your kid is throwing cereal in the grocery store. I think at this point, I'm questioning some things.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it is that it's they don't think, they might not see a problem because they don't think it is a problem, but B, they may be touchy because they're embarrassed by it, right? They may
That's true too.
And they may be ashamed that you bring it up. So starting that conversation with, hey, we noticed while Dixie was with us, she was really hyper, and so we did these things. What are you guys doing at home for that? And just putting it on them to say and see what they say. And if they say, "Oh, well, that's just kind of how she is," or or "Oh, Rich, she does that," it's like, well, yeah. And we saw that these three things helped. Have you try that next time, and we'd love to hear how it works for you. Just keep it real positive and real, like, yeah. This is what we did while we were here. Most of the time, what we convey to clients with as far as like dog behavior is your dog is just fine. Like, really, it really is. Yeah. Or your dog behaves differently with us, and that's okay. Especially when we have a lot of dogs here. Dogs fall in line very quickly.
That's true. General Kobe.
Yeah, General Kobe lays the smack down and is like, "You're going to be fine. Stop messing with me. Seriously, stop touching me." And so we see some behaviors that the owners don't see, but we don't see a lot of the behaviors that the owners see, and that's mostly because the dogs don't get away with much here. Right. We don't, we kind of run a much tighter ship, especially when you start having 4 or 5 dogs. There's a system and everyone obeys the system. Right. And there's no leeway. And not that we're mean or cruel or anything like that. It's just, there's a pattern like that. We have procedures in place that we work through, and we have a schedule, and we have manners that everyone is going to do. And so dogs are like, "Oh, okay, that's what I do now. Okay, sweet. I sit before I get my food bowl. Great. Like, yes, that's what you do." And but so we report a lot of that kind of thing to the clients. But since we aren't trainers, we don't offer training service. We get a lot of people ask, "Hey, could you train my dog while they're here?" Like it's not a train and stay.
That's not how it works.
That's not how it works.
That's not how training works. Okay. Like when you do dog training, like you, owner person, has to be here doing it. The person the dog normally listens to is around.
Okay. Well, no. You talk to any dog trainer, and they'll say 90% of the training class is actually focused on the human.
Well, yeah, showing them what to do.
Showing them how to be consistent, how to read the dog, how to get ahead of the dog, how to do all that stuff. Now, if they have things that they are working on that they would like for us to continue doing, we will reinforce those to the best that we can.
Yeah.
But we're not an obedience school. And if they think that they are getting a train and stay at our rates, they are grossly no.
Sadly mistaken.
Like, I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
And they wouldn't want to pay what I would charge for a train and stay. They would just. They wouldn't. Right? They would not. No. Oh, jeez. Yeah. So things like that come up a lot. But anyway.
Yeah. You have to find some more exciting exotic pets than to sit.
I don't think there's that many kind of clientele up in that area.
You'd be surprised.
Unless Collin's they're gonna start doing a lot of rural. Like, "Hey, can you watch my prize cow or something?"
I'm not doing farm sits. No. That
doesn't really sound very exciting. That's a whole different kettle of fish there, right? Like,
yes. Yeah.
Horse brushing and donkey feeding and pig bathing. I don't know what else.
You got to expand your clientele, man. It's probably the best way to do it.
Well, I will say that there are pet sitters that they focus on farms. That's what they do.
Well, I bet they are.
They'll go be farmhands for a while. But no, thank you.
I was gonna say, first of all, farmers never leave the farm. Let's just be clear. That's not a thing that happens.
Yeah, no.
Like, no farmer ever that I know is like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to leave for a week." No, it's not. No, it doesn't ever work.
These would be more inclined, more like a hobby farm kind of thing.
I got you.
I've got 2 horses. I've got 3 dogs. I've got some geese. I've got some chickens. I've got not like an actual,
not like a
farm.
big boy.
No, they're not jumping in the combine to in the middle of harvest or whatever.
Not going into the milk barn and just checking everybody.
No,
that's true. That would make more sense. Your little tiny farm or hobbyist farm. Still, though, that's a lot of. That's a lot of things.
Yeah,
a lot of scary things. Scary farm related things. I'm not really ready to deal with. So that would be bad.
That's about it. We've had a lot of dogs, and masks are now required in town. So
there we go.
Nothing new and exciting. I did get halfway through my homework from 2 episodes
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago or more. Did finally.
Wow!
I got halfway through that. It is really odd. Just to remind everybody, it was the Rob Nibana di Jodi, basically a match made by God, and it is so many cringe moments.
I realized sort of after that and doing some of the thinking about it, a lot of those are structured as movie musicals.
Yes.
Right? So it kind of makes sense. That's why some of them are very long. It's because they have these big things that are happening. And I couldn't tell, I think I might have mentioned this before. It's hard to know, if it's in, in Western musicals, sometimes the song isn't really happening. You know what I mean?
100%. Yes.
Yeah. So in some Western musicals, when they're dancing around and singing, that's not really happening. That's just the character's thoughts being expressed in that way. But it's not happening in the real world. In other musicals, that totally is happening. It's kind of, so there's some clues sometimes they give you. In the Indian cinema, I wasn't sure if it was for real happening or if it was not. There was a different kind of, that structure was slightly different, and I was confused by, I just didn't know, do they know they're doing this? Is everybody in on this? Is just the main character expressing their emotions this way? I don't understand. So that was tricky.
Mine has had I don't know, of the 3 or 4 songs already, I think maybe 1 or 2 of them have been the very clear, this is not actually happening. This is just an experience of how this person is processing their emotions right now. And then the other 2, I have no idea. I legitimately cannot tell. Because usually it's they're in a normal scenario or they're on a street and the background actors pretend they're not there. They're just going around doing their normal thing. But in one of the scenes, he's driving a car and singing, and then he gets out and dances on the roof, and everybody around him gets really mad that he's dancing on the roof and blocking traffic and yelling at him, and people are in it's causing accidents and pileups and stuff around him. And I'm okay, well
that's
maybe that one he's doing it in real, but then also. And then it's to another cutscene, within the same song. I'm well, maybe no, maybe not. But okay, so I don't know anymore. But the key that I missed whenever I was trying to recap this was the main character. I glossed over this, but he went to a friend's wedding to watch a family friend get married. The bride is could you imagine being married to you? That'd be the worst thing ever. And he's oh, haha, yeah, that'd be awful. Well, the groom that the lady was supposed to marry dies in a car crash on the way to the wedding. And her father's dying.
Okay.
Rough 5-minute opening. And then the father absolutely loves the main character dude. And he always thought of him as a son. And so his dying wish is that the main character dude marry his daughter to take care of her and to be with her. And so that's how they get married. That's the opening thing. Okay.
All right.
And it's there's no love between them. And she's and then at some point, his colleagues at work find out and they invite themselves over to meet his bride, and she's like locked upstairs, and he's really embarrassed because he's like, you're supposed to come and meet my friends. I'm really sorry, but I need you to do this to me for like my honor. And she does show up and she does serve everybody, and she plays his wife. And then afterwards she's like, I can never love you. There's no love in my heart for you, but I will be a good wife. And it's very interesting. And he's like perfectly fine with that. He's like, that's great. That's love to me. Just like obedience kind of thing. Again, okay. Very interesting.
Well, I mean, that's kind of, yes. I imagine this is some sort of commentary on, like, because arranged marriages are still very much a thing.
Yes. And
part of India, right? Especially among certain groups, like the lower, and they don't have castes officially anymore.
So much as they have castes, right? Yeah.
I mean, yes, let's be honest, but officially, the caste system no longer is there. But you know how that goes. But yeah, so arranged marriages are still very much a thing in certain parts, especially in more rural parts, I imagine. I mean, what do I know? But like, so that's interesting that it's probably some sort of commentary on that.
Yeah.
That you like, you know, kind of missing out on because you're not real sure. Like,
but he like, but then like he has genuine feelings for her, and so they go to movies and they're watching the dance, and this is the part where they watch all these dance movies, and he thinks the reason she likes the dance movies is because the main actor in the movies is always like some hunk who's like doing all these cool moves and like really super confident, and he's like the nerdy insurance salesman kind of guy. And so he goes to his friend who's like a like a motorcycle riding hairdresser kind of guy. And he's like,
okay,
make my love story come true. And so he does like the whole makeover. He makes him a fake beard. He does the haircut. He gives him his clothes, all this stuff. And he kind of plays almost a Zoolander-esque mentality, like
way over the top,
way over the top, to the point where like I had to pause it a few times and go do something else because I was like, I can't watch this character. It's so painful. I am so embarrassed right now for what's happening on screen. I cannot watch this. And like she's rebuffed by him and she doesn't like him, and like he's majorly flirting with her. And the part of the movie that made me is seriously uncomfortable is her husband is going undercover to flirt with his wife to get his wife to fall in love with somebody that's not her husband. And he's okay with that, right? Like, so he's trying to fake his wife to falling in love with somebody that's not her husband. Like, doesn't that seem a little weird, like plot wise? Like, I don't know.
It's a little weird.
I feel like that's
this has some elements of the book. Have you ever read The Scarlet Pimpernel?
Why does that sound so familiar?
Well, it's like, it's kind of the other way around. Like, but the wife is married to this guy, and he's just like dull and dreary and terrible. Actually, it's kind of the same thing. And she's all like, I don't like him. But he's like playing that character because he's actually this like dashing rogue that's like out there helping people and doing all this stuff, but like in disguise, you know? So, and she has no idea that that's him because he's always playing this like dour, down to earth, like meh.
Well, it's a little reversed, but yeah, because he's putting on a show to be the outgoing version, but he's actually the more So yeah, it's very much like that, where like, but he's intentionally trying to woo his wife away, and I don't know, put her in a weird situation where she would have to make at some point decide, is she going to disregard her marriage and go off with this guy, right? Like, that's the point.
That is a bit weird.
It's like, okay, the logical conclusion is you're trying to get your wife to cheat on you with obviously you, but like that's still
but that's the weird part. Like, you're trying to get your wife to cheat on you with yourself. Wait, what's happening?
So anyway, they get in this dance competition, and
like any good musical, some parts just don't make any sense at all.
You just have to gloss over that. It's supposed to be romantic what he's trying to do, right? What he's trying to do is awesome. And she does end up falling more and more for him, and that's just because he's very outgoing, and he's very like obviously trying to woo her and compliment her, and he's very confident in himself, and he's not like that at home. And then the part where I got is they're dance partners for this thing, and they're getting ready to go to the final dance competition, and that is halfway through the movie. That's the half is getting to the dance competition. I don't know where the rest of this movie goes, but we're gonna find out.
Here we go. That's okay.
Ow.
It's keeping you in suspense. But how does it end?
But how does it end?
Dun.
Where do the other hour and 24 minutes? Where do they spend all that?
I'm gonna guess a large part of it's gonna be dancing.
In real time at the dance competition, I suppose.
Yes.
Watching other people compete and wait in line.
Yes, the rest of it is just the actual dance competition. The whole thing. That would be great. Actually, that would be awful. But it would be funny.
It would. Oh my God.
What about a shift in tone for a movie? It's like, no, now we're doing everything in real time. What?
This is actually a docudrama. We're going to turn into.
I mean, that's very few movies pull off the in real time thing very well, right?
Right.
Like, Run Lola Run comes to mind. That might be the only one. I can't. And that one's really weird too. So it's German, so obviously it's bizarre, but like it's.
So I'll keep you updated on how, when, if I'm able to finish that. But
that's on the exciting conclusion.
Exciting conclusion.
Finally.
Right. Really trying.
Well, that's how I've been this week, because it's like I don't really, I just have this is my last week at home, basically, I guess, for now. We'll see. It's just been kind of like, well, what do I do with myself? I haven't really been doing. It's been really weird. So, like, I haven't really watched anything. I haven't really done a whole lot. I've weirdly been listening to a lot of 60s garage rock. So that's been intriguing. I don't really know why. Just sort of saw one and was like, yeah, let's watch that. Listen to that, this playlist thing. So I've been listening to a lot of that. Lots of bands that have the in the title, the something, literally anything, like really weird things. Kind of doing the 60s garage rock thing. They're very strange songs. Some of them are bad, like real bad. But yeah, that's what I've been doing this week. Listening to some of that. Just listening to something different. Very interesting. Again, not necessarily good, but that's it's different.
Well,
just trying to, because it's kind of weird. Because I'm not like mentally prepared for school, definitely, because it's been so long and I have no idea what school's going to look like. So, like, mentally, I'm just like not present for that. So it's just kind of like floating around doing other things. It's been very strange. Very hard to get, like, next week I imagine it'll help some, but like it's been very weird, like, oh, I actually have to go somewhere. How bizarre. Because even summer school was over a month ago now, so I'm like, well, it's been sitting here with Chuck, just hanging out.
Twiddling.
Now what?
Yes. So, yeah, no. I haven't really been doing anything very exciting, so.
I did have this thought today. I want to pose the question to you all. And what dislodged this thought in my brain was, Brandon, you're listening to 60s garage rock.
Absolutely.
The question has to do with music. And
okay.
I don't know, not exactly sure how to phrase this, but like, it's not necessarily like what is a guilty pleasure type of music that you listen to, but maybe what's music that you listen to that is unexpected for you, or if you told somebody you listened to it, they would go, huh. I don't know if that makes sense really, but like, and maybe it is a guilty pleasure music, but I wanted to come at it more from the angle of, if you told somebody you listened to this band, not maybe on a regular basis, but you throw it on every now and then, what would your, getting a response from somebody?
Ooh.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's a hard one. I feel like a lot of times when I say band names to people, all I get is, what?
Yeah.
So that's a real tricky one.
So yeah, maybe unexpected music we listen to.
Okay, so other than 60s garage rock, clearly now I'm a big fan of, obviously. Out of like hours I've listened to, been about 5 songs. I'm like, oh yeah, that's good stuff. I like surf music. I do. I like surf music.
Oh,
I like surf rock. Vintage surf rock and any of its modern incarnations. So there's a few bands now that play like modern surf rock. So that's either like others. So there's one band that comes to mind. There's a band from Ontario, Canada, weirdly enough. Not exactly a surf capital of the world. But they're called the Surfer Jet, which is the greatest name ever.
Yeah.
Right. But it's like an all-female surf band.
Nice.
And they're awesome.
Sounds like it.
There's another one. They're, I believe, Russian. They're called the Messer Chups. And they're like a Russian surf band. With like, they're weird because they have like, a lot of their visuals are like horror inspired, but like cheesy, like classic horror, like Frankenstein. And like the bass player, I believe her name, she goes by is Zombarella, right? So no,
yeah.
So it's that kind of like classic horror, not like weird stuff. So that kind of stuff. But I like there's another, I can't remember the other one. There's another one like that, like a Man or Astro Man. These kind of bands like that. I like surf music. Yeah, that would be the one I would say.
Okay.
That my weird genre, at least. They'd be like, oh yeah, I like surf rock. People are like, what? Why? That's mine. I like surf rock. There we go.
Okay.
Nailed it.
No, I like it. It's one of those things like, all right, yeah.
I had to think about that for a while because I do listen to a lot of. We talked about that before too in the music episode, but like that's one that I'm like, yeah, I don't know anybody else. None of my friends or coworkers or anything. None of them listen to surf music at all. So like,
No,
yeah, I would say mine. I would say mine. Yeah, it's a very after. Well, I mean, basically after the Beatles. They killed surf rock hard, right? Like, because before 1964, I guess, the U.S. was all about like surf rock and Hawaiian music. Then the Beatles came, they're like, nope, forget that, bye, this. So it died a hard death. But it's a very niche thing. But I like some of it. I like some of that. Some of that old surf rock is weird, like the Ventures. I'm blanking on some of the other, but I could see their faces. I've seen the videos. Oh man, they're hilarious. They're so good. Yeah, surf rock is mine.
Aaron.
Oh geez.
That's one of mine. I have more if we want to talk about
I'm
that
sure.
later.
I'm sure. This is an ongoing discussion of music. Don't worry.
I'll save some of my other ones for later.
Yeah.
Tune in next time.
Yeah, we'll do a draft of this next time.
Man, like there's some times where like I if it's either like since I drive most of my time, like if it's on like the radio or something, I just kind of listen to whatever. As far as like guilty pleasures go, it's been a while since I actually like listened, But if something pops up on like my like YouTube feed, that's like, I was like, oh, since you like this, I was like, oh, I do like that. I liked listening to K-pop for a little bit.
Hey, there we go.
I haven't listened to it in a long time. I couldn't tell you like who's popular or like what's new out there. But there's just be some times where it's like there's man, like I want to listen to something, but I don't want to be like, I just wanted something that's a little bit more happier go lucky, and K-pop filled that for sure. And so it'd just be something where if YouTube, like sometimes I wouldn't seek it out. It would just be like in my little recommended page.
Like, sometimes it just finds you.
Yeah,
right?
It just found me. And so sometimes it'd just be like, oh yeah. Another thing that definitely happens, especially when I'm out driving, if I'm just like flipping through the channels, because all the channels that I listen to, you don't get out driving through Ponca City, is the Hispanic channels.
Oh yeah,
like, listen to Spanish music, like now the little like twangy, like more what is that called, like mariachi stuff, not so much, but like Hispanic rap or like hip hop and stuff like that. Sometimes I'm just like, this is actually kind of delightful. I don't know what half of it means, but
it's fine.
It's just something that's a little bit more that's kind of out of the ordinary for me. That'll just be like, okay, all right, okay, I can dig this. So yeah, K-pop and Hispanic music. Yeah,
I do love some mariachi. That's some good stuff. But like the more northern stuff, the more like polka based stuff from Mexico is fun too. It's a German influence. There's a large German population in northern Mexico, weirdly.
Really?
In the late 1800s, I think, maybe. Yeah, there's a bunch of Germans. And some of that musical, like that accordion stuff, that's where it came from.
Mm-hmm.
The music. Very strange.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
My dates might be slightly wrong, so feel free to check that.
Is it?
There are, there was a big German influence in parts of Mexico. So there you go. Collin,
Nice.
I believe I'm after the last time we talked about music, I'm mildly terrified about what's about to come out of your mouth right now. Yeah.
I know.
After apparently Collin only listens to music made by cartoons.
Yeah.
So like the Muppets, and I guess I'm assuming the Gorillas. Are you still a Gorillas guy? Like you guys?
I like the Gorillas.
On that, I will say that yeah,
Colin's gonna pull out like, I love death metal. Like what?
Well, actually, it is very close to that.
Is it Gojira? Their new song's really good, by the way.
No, okay. No, I really, there are times where I think I used to do this a lot more than I currently do, but listen to certain music based on how I'm feeling and emotions throughout the day.
That's true.
Of like, there are times where I will listen to music to elicit certain emotions. But there are also times where I need music to match my emotions.
Yes.
Right? And so one of those is like industrial metal. Is like hard, right? Like, so like,
wow.
like there are times where like that, like I can't get around that, and it's one of those things of, again, I'm not to justify this, but it's one of those things of like, it's not on my playlist all the time. Like I don't even have that many artists included in playlists, but it's like every now and then it's like, this is the one thing I need to listen to right now to match how I'm feeling in the situation. And
I love it.
Listen to a couple of them and then move on, right? Like, and you're done, right? So I don't know. That's mine.
That's good. What do you have an artist or a group that you like in the industrial metal genre?
Well, I think one of the first ones that I listened to, I think, I don't know, it probably was for everybody, was, you know, Nine Inch Nails, but then like followed heavily by like Rammstein, Fear Factory, and then yes, you know, Marilyn Manson.
Indeed.
Some, I think, but more of those common ones. Just because I'm able to surface those, it's not
That's
something
true.
that, right. It's not something that I'm like, oh, I've got to do a deep dive into this. And I think it's just it's because, again, when I listen to music, I listen to it for very particular things, and it's like I want a certain sound right now, and that gives it to me. Like, it's just, I don't really know how to describe that connection, but it is. I'd listen to music like that sometimes.
No, I do that too. That makes sense, right? Like, especially for the emotional thing. Yeah, those are good ones. A little less on my favorite industrial metal band is a little bit less on the brooding side, as like of a Nine Inch Nails, of a Trent Reznor, but I love Static X like a lot.
yeah, Static X, Fear Factory. I think I said that.
That band's great, and they're coming out with their new album this year, which is weird because Wayne has died, right? So, did you know about this thing that's been happening? Okay, so Wayne Static died a few years ago. Which is awful. It was kind of like an accidental, like he took the wrong medicine type of thing. It was like that was really unfortunate. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So he passed away, and so this last year was like, it's like I don't remember the 20th anniversary of their first album was 2019. Because I think Wisconsin Death Trip came out in 1999. So I've heard that album like back in high school. I was like, what is this? This is fantastic. Anyway, so they went on tour last year, and they had a guy who like just dressed up as Wayne. And like they had the family's blessing, and the band was like, no, we want to do this. It was one of Wayne's friends who just like put on this mask and kind of dressed up as Wayne and sang all the songs. And they went on tour, and it was like a big tribute to Wayne Static tour thing. And they just came out with a new album with like his, like a bunch of unfinished stuff, like vocal tracks and everything. So it's pretty good. It's pretty awesome. If you like industrial, I believe the other adjective they used to describe their music is evil disco. So if you're into that.
Yeah.
Because he was all into like electronic sounds and like, there's guitar, but also check out this keyboard part that I'm gonna write.
What if Wade turned up the synth? Could we do that?
Yeah,
please?
there's definitely a lot of synth to some of that. Especially the third album, I think. Yeah, it was really good. But I saw them in concert like a long time ago.
Oh.
Awesome.
Wow.
So like,
I don't know.
Static X, my recommendation. Still, that first album, that Push It off the, oh my god, yep, do it every time.
So anyway, that was just a brief mini topic that I wanted to throw out there because I was listening to the Pale Emperor the other day on my way, and which it's a very different sound than his earlier music. But it is I think it is also just because those dark brooding moments where it's like, this is what I need right now.
Yes, that's true.
I need it.
That's good. That's I mean, there's a place for all that stuff, right? You might not listen to it all the time.
Yeah.
But still, sometimes you're like, no, I need to hear this song right now. I do that. Like, it could be, mine is really random, right? Like, as we've noticed, but like, I do that. Oh, man, I want to listen to
this is the one thing. Yeah.
I really think I need to hear some of this one type of music or whatever that type is.
Yeah, and I'm trying to get back into listening to more music, pulling back from my extreme amount of podcast listening that I do during the day. Like it's really bad. So I'm trying to. It's something that I'm working on.
It's hard because you always feel like now at least I found like when I'm older, because like when I was younger, I used to do that, right? I used to like I have very distinct memories of putting the record on, sitting on the floor with my headphones and just sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think I've talked about this before, maybe, but that now you feel like you can't do that, even though clearly I can, because I mean,
yeah, I'm
not doing anything else, but you still have this like, so I do that some, but under normal circumstances when you're not quarantined in your house, you feel like, oh, I should also be doing something. So it's hard to find things that you can do, but still like listen and like appreciate music. So like sometimes I do it when I'm like cleaning the kitchen or stuff like that, you know. I try to find a task that's relatively, you know, not super complex, so that I can listen to the music and enjoy it. Because I find if I'm doing really complex tasks, I often don't want the music because it's interfering with my thought process, or it distracts me because I'm like, oh, I love this part, and then I'm not focusing on what I should be doing. So I need I need very certain things to do. But it's hard. It's hard to find time to say, yes, I'm going to listen to this whole thing right now, or this, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that'll be a challenge. Another thing to do with music. We keep coming back to that. So
there we go.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't mention last week that I was really excited that Mars Perseverance rover finally took off. Right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Two cool space things since last week. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, that's true. The guys came back down.
Ta-da!
Yes, is that the other thing you were talking about? So they made it back down. But yeah, the Perseverance rover finally got off the ground because they had some problems with their launch window and all that stuff. And if they didn't get up by like this next coming week, they would have to wait forever for the planets to come back to the right spot again. Right. So it's good they got it off. But I'm real excited because this thing's supposed to land now in, I don't remember, November-ish?
Yeah.
Right? So, for those of you who don't know, the Perseverance rover is going to do two extraordinarily amazing things that are just super cool. And firsts for the space exploration. The first thing is this giant rover definitely has a helicopter drone on board. Yes. And it's going to fly across Mars. So, sometime in the future, there will be a helicopter drone on Mars. And this is going to be so awesome. Like, this is so great. We don't even know if it's actually going to work, right? You know, is it going to fly? Is there enough atmosphere? Is it gravity? What's the gravity going to be like to make it work? So, you know, all these things to overcome, but there's definitely a helicopter drone on this space. It's so cool. I can't wait. I hope that works so bad. It's going to be awesome.
It's crazy to think that we're not going to get, like, it's not going to touch down for another, like, 200 days or something like that. Like,
yeah.
Just, whew.
Yeah. So it's got a ways to go, but it's finally made it. It had some little trouble after liftoff, but it went into, like, safe mode. But I guess it's good now. It just rebooted something and it's fine. So, see, it's on its way to Mars. The other thing, the super awesome thing, is its mission is to drill rock samples, and then send them back to Earth. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember that.
So there's this really big convoluted process of how it's supposed to drill samples and then set them up for some kind of collection thing. Right? It's supposed to leave them somewhere, and then something else is supposed to come, and another mission later is supposed to come and pick them up and be able to send them back. So, we had to wait a long time for that. But that's still really cool that we're going to be able to have Martian rock samples here.
Who calls Martian Invasion 2025?
And let's listen.
My bingo card.
Listen, stop.
Give us our rock back.
It's going to be cool. So I think it's awesome. That's just a really cool mission parameter, and I think it's really exciting. Lots of cool things to think about there. So hopefully that all continues to go well, and it continues traveling safely to Mars. But yeah, that was really cool. That was some cool news. Is there any other good news? Is there any other good news in this dour time?
Good news
we've heard this week.
That
was my big one. I can't remember seeing anything else like this week.
The SpaceX landing was pretty cool. Good news.
Well, that was really awesome that they were able to make it back down.
Yes,
one piece. Everything went good. That was
that was good news. I don't have any other things that came across my desk, but add that to our list for next week. Maybe another good news challenge.
That's true. I have to do that.
Okay. So many things to do.
I mean, it's good. We need something to do. It'd be good.
Focus the manic energy somewhere.
Yes, indeed.
Cool.
So,
well, cool. Sounds good, guys.
Yes.
Well, enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll be back on again soon.
All right. Yeah. You too. Hope it goes well. And
we'll
see you soon.
Love you guys.
Love you too.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.